everybody, it's your girl Kiara Washington Speaks, and welcome back to my channel. To all of my returning subscribers, I just want to say I love you all so very much. Thank you all for always supporting the brand and the content. To all of my new subscribers and all of my new people, welcome, welcome, welcome. So family, as you can see in the title, we are going to be talking about passion plus purpose plus money. So I thought about this topic because I literally just did a video I just literally recorded a video maybe like 5 or 10 minutes ago. So I'm like on a roll. So I'm like, let's change the shirt. Let's do another video. All right. So y'all, I want to talk about really just passion, money, purpose. And I want to talk about, should we chase money or should we chase passion and purpose? Which ones should we do? Should we chase one or the other, or is there a way where we can actually obtain the both? I first want to start out by saying this. Y'all, I say this all the time. I act like I'm so old. I'm only 30 years old. But I think sometimes my life flashes before my eyes, and I feel that I have honestly been here before. And I feel like in my 30 years, I have definitely experienced and have gone through a lot in my life. And by no means do I take any of it for granted. I don't take the opportunities that I've been given for granted, but I do honestly feel as though I have spent a lot of time in my life thinking or saying, let me say that. I don't want to say I was thinking, I know what I was thinking. Saying I was chasing purpose or chasing some type of passion, but I really was chasing money. And this is why everything that I've picked up over the last 3 to 4 years has failed. And yes, I did say fail, because in 2017 was a very, and I'll do a separate video on how my life really altered in 2017, but I'll just kind of give you a brief overview. 2017 was a very rough year for me. I'll never forget the beginning of the year. I was talking to one of my best friends, still one of my best friends till this day. And I remember having a conversation with this person. I remember just saying, this is the year that's going to make or break me. I feel very challenged in this year. And I feel that there's so much on me financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, that it's going to be the year that makes or breaks me. And to be honest, 2017 was the year where my finances were completely in the dump. I could barely pay my car note on time. I got evicted from my house. It was, me and my sister were at odds all the time because we were living together and we got evicted together. We were at odds all the time. Me and my now fiance, we were just girlfriend, boyfriend, and we were at odds all the time. And then the worst thing that could have ever happened, my mother was very sick in 2017 and she had stage 4 cancer. My mother passed away at the end of 2017. So all of these financial, emotional, mental issues and problems that are happening, my mother passing away literally put the nail in the coffin for me. So 2017 was a very rough year for me. But also in 2017, I decided to go to real estate school. Yes, I decided to go to real estate school. And excuse me, y'all, I am literally just getting over a little cold. And no, it ain't no Rona, but it is a little cold. But I remember putting myself in a position to go to real estate school. And real estate school was not long. I think it was about 2 months. 2 months. Yeah, I think it was like an 8-week course. It wasn't long. It was less than 3 months. It was like maybe 2 months. And I know it was either 3 days a week or it was 5 days a week. Either way, it was a lot. And 2017 real estate school, I went through the class, I finished the class, and I'm not gonna lie to you all, I was very interested in the beginning. I can't even remember what made me want to get into real estate. I think the bottom line was that money definitely was involved. And even though your payouts you had to wait for them, because when you close on a house, the real estate agent, it takes you about maybe, 60 to 90 days, 120 days before you get paid, but you're getting paid in chunks. So instead of you getting like maybe a $900 or $1,000 check, you're probably getting a $6,000, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 check. So, so y'all, after I completed the class, you have to take the test. Now the real estate tests, they're broken down into two portions. I don't know why I was struggling to get that out, but they're broken down into two portions. You have a state portion and you have a national portion. And I passed the state portion. I failed it the first time. I passed it on the second time. For some reason, y'all, I could not pass the national. I could not pass it. I think I took it, no lie, I took it about 3 or 4 times. And I'm not going to lie, I failed it every single time, of course. And I just got to a point that even though I had invested, I want to say about $400 into real estate school, I gave up. I did. I gave up. I was like, I'm not going to do this shit. Like, I gave up. I was like, I'm not going to do this. It's too much. Even though I've invested $400, even though I really did study a lot, and I studied a lot. I mean, I used to be in class recording my teacher so that way I could go back and hear the lectures, even though he was boring as all get out. I would record pretty much every lecture because I wanted to have it so that I could, replay it and hear it again when I was studying. And for some reason, y'all, even though I spent $400 on real estate school, I could not pass that test. Passing that test was not in the cards for me. And so in 2018, I moved from being interested in real estate to now going into personal coaching and development. Now, what I will say in 2018 was I was very serious about the coaching. I'm still very passionate about coaching. I'm still very passionate about speaking. But I think that I'm so sorry, y'all. I really am getting over a cold. Y'all gonna think I got that Rona. I don't. Let me move forward. But I really have always been passionate about speaking my truth and being transparent in my process. But I took on a coach, and a real coach that you actually pay, in 2018. And my coach was really cool. He was down to earth. We got along very well. And excuse me, y'all. This is just annoying. We got along very well. And I think at the end of the day, what I learned about my coach was he was a guy, but he was a good coach, but it was just too masculine. Like, his overall arching energy was too masculine for me. And I also realized that the accountability that they wanted from me, I wasn't really ready and willing to give. And I realized that over time, life begins to show itself to you. It begins to reveal itself to you. And I remember that even though I really, really wanted to be able to be on platforms and speak and share my truth and be transparent, there's always a process that you're going through as a human being. Sometimes the process that you're going through, you're not always ready to reveal it as it's happening to you. That's one thing I learned in 2018. I kept trying to tell people my story as I was going through it. In certain instances, it worked. It was helpful. Prime example, I was mourning my mother when I lost her in 2017. So me continuing to tell my story about my mother and continuing to go through my processes with her and losing her in the physical was very transformative, and it was very helpful, and it helped other people. But there were other things that I was going through in my life that wasn't ready to be on the forefront. They weren't ready to be on display for any and everybody to talk about and pick at and view. And so I would say I was under my coach maybe for about 6 to 8 months, and then I just totally quit. I was like, this is not it for me. And it never stopped me from moving forward into the speaking arena, because I still was speaking. I still, have my Facebook groups, and I still have, my YouTube channel. I have all these things going, but I moved from this total being, molded mentor coach relationship into just okay, I need to figure out what's most important to Kiera because I'm getting a little sidetracked. And so 2018 showed me that even though I really wanted a coach, I wasn't really ready for a coach. And I know people say, well, sometimes you gotta, get ready before you are ready, or you gotta stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. Very true. But at the same time, what 2018 showed me about getting a coach was the fact that I could listen, I could be teachable, but it also showed me this: everything happens in seasons. So everyone in your life has a season. My coach at that time was only supposed to be in my life for those 8 months. He wasn't supposed to follow me for years and years. And here's the funniest thing: my coach and I still call him my coach to this day because I have a high regard and high respect for him. He even told me, he said, Kiera, I don't think you're going to be with me that long. He said, I think we may work together minimum, maybe 3 months, maybe up to a year. He said, but the type of person that you are and the type of energy that you have, he said, I don't see us working together for a long time because you are the type of person where you are an independent spirit. You are a free thinker. You like to move in areas on your own. So that was something I needed to hear and something I knew. But at the same time, I know that that's something that, as good as it is of a trait that I have, is still something that I need to work through because I still need to learn how to work with people and work in teams. And I still need to just learn a little bit more on how to take advice, because that's something that I can say that I have struggled with throughout my life. I don't have a very conventional way of thinking. I don't like for people to and try to tell. I've never been that way. But anyway, I realized even though that wasn't where I was really looking for money per se, because I was very passionate about it, I only sought out passion, which at the end of the day did not bring me any money either. So it was like, okay, Kiera, you have the passion part, but you're still not focusing on products and services. So now you're not getting any income coming in. Now we're flatlining. Hang it up, flat screen. We're flatlining again. Moving forward to 2019, let me tell you this, y'all. Never do something because somebody else is doing it, especially if it's not a real interest that you have. Let me say it again. Never do something because someone else is doing it, especially if it's not something that you really want to do. And this is a perfect example of, do you choose passion or do you choose money? Do you choose passion or do you choose money? Passion or money? Passion or money? Or are we able to fuse the two together? And in 2019 was a very year for me too, because I had to have a left radical nephrectomy. In short story, I had to have my left kidney removed because I had a tumor that had engulfed my kidney. They wasn't sure if it was cancerous or not, but it was just so big, it was causing issues in my body. Took it out. That in itself is another video that I may do down the line. But 2019 was a very rough year for me. It was also the year that me and my fiance decided to move in together. We had already been together almost 3 years prior. We had been together, but we decided in our 3rd year, let's move in together. So literally the week we moved in, I was in the hospital having surgery. So the first couple weeks here was just very rough. I was very slow moving around the house. Anyway, that's another video. I decided after I went back to work, because you already know, because you've been watching my channel, I work for Verizon. There are videos that are on this channel about it. You can watch them when you get a chance. I went back to work for Verizon, but I also have always been the type of person where I like to have a side hustle. And I remember me and my fiance having a lot of issues in 2019. It always felt like we were getting into disagreements about the same type of shit, And the short story was, my fiance had got into life insurance, but he had just stopped. Like, he got into it, I want to say in 2018, and like the beginning of 2018, but then he just stopped. And I realized that if two people are in a relationship and they're not building a partnership, there's always going to be war going on, because if one person is very passionate and the other person is not very passionate, there's going to be war. If they both are not passionate, then it may not really matter, because they don't really have that same energy bumping heads, or that different energy bumping heads. But this was me. I was always very passionate. My fiance has never been a very passionate person about really anything. So I always was the type of person where I was like, why doesn't he just figure out what he wants to do? He's, you know, this much older than me. You know, he's had decent jobs, but he doesn't know what he wants to do. And I started to look at our relationship as a partnership. And I'm like, how do we forge the gap? How do we begin to build and begin to build something that we can do together? Because I do believe that when you are in a relationship with a person, that it's not just about how they treat you and about how happy you are. I do believe that you are supposed to create legacy together, especially when you are on the verge of marriage. And that's where we are. We're supposed to create legacy together. And so I didn't feel that we were doing that. And I remember that he was doing life insurance, but he stopped. And I said, well, how can I forge and build something with him, even if I'm not super passionate about it? Like, how can I forge and build something so we can have something together? Here's what my stupid ass did. I decided to say, well, let me get my life insurance license and let us, you know, work for a, you know, one of those multi-level marketing insurance companies. Y'all, if y'all have seen my TLC video, y'all know I have done, your girl has done way too many MLMs, which is multi-level marketing. I have done, whether you want to call them pyramid schemes, scams, you're not really too far off. The bottom line is I have done enough of them because I have really, really thought for a while that I could really, you know, get through. And the reality of it is it didn't mean that I couldn't, but that's another video on itself. One day I'll do a video about all of the different bullshit scam things I've been in. Anyway, that's another video. But I decided to, instead of going through like a New York Life or going through like a Liberty Mutual or going through like a Nationwide, I decided to go through this company called WFG, and it stands for World Financial Group. And his upline, this older lady, she's a really sweet lady, but at the end of the day, as nice as she was, as sweet as she was just very consistent on trying to get us to what? Always try to get people and talk about WFG. So I would say I had a conversation with myself and I was like, you know, if this is going to be the thing that's going to help us forge our relationship and help us build legacy, I know it'll be hard work. I know I'm in school. I know I got a job. I'm working over 40 hours a week and all of my other stuff, but I'll take it on because I want us to be able to build together and be able to blah, 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 blah. So the long story short is I studied for my exam because they give you 60 days to study for your exam. So I studied for my exam for 2 months. And then I took my exam, 2 months after, you know, I studied for 2 months. And the first time I took my exam, I failed. Now, it doesn't tell you how much you failed by. I didn't know how much I failed by, but I failed. And so, no. This one did tell me how much I failed by. I failed by like 3 points. I think I got like a 67, and you got to at least get like a 70. I got like a 67. So I was so determined that I wanted to build legacy and build love and build family with my man that I was like, as soon as I got in the car, I got back online, I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to schedule an appointment to take a retake. I'm going to retake it. I'm going to retake it in a week. So I went home, studied for an entire week. I mean, study for that week, retook my test in a week. And what did I do, y'all? I passed. I got my life insurance license. I passed. And I know I'm taking a long time to tell this story, but I got my life insurance license. I passed the test. And I was excited. I told people on Facebook, got hundreds and hundreds of likes and shares and stuff. And that was in 2019. And I don't use my life insurance license because one thing that you begin to learn over time, especially when it comes to life insurance, is that number one, if I really wanted to be a successful life insurance agent, I would have had to give up my 9-to-5 because I would have needed that time to become as successful as I would have needed to be. And number two, it cost a lot of money, whether you're with one of like those MLM companies or if you're with just a regular company like a New York Life or something like that. It costs like all these licenses, all these continuing educations, all of these different back office, internet, website fees, all these different, they just make up stuff, y'all. They make up stuff. It costs a lot of money to keep it up. So the bottom line was, in 2019, I got my life insurance license, but I was trying to chase building a relationship and making more money, but not really my purpose. It was supposed to be someone else's thing, which really, when I think about it, it wasn't really even my fiance's purpose, because if it was really his purpose, he'd be fucking doing it, which he's not. Sorry about the language. He'd be doing it. And I realized that I was trying to chase money and legacy and family, but it really wasn't pertaining to what was in my heart. So what I'm saying in short is this, family. Don't do things based off just money. Don't do things based off just what someone else wants you to do or what they feel that you'll be good at. Because what ends up happening is the only person who ends up being unhappy is yourself. Prime example, I have all these different credentials and all these different certificates and all this other crap that I've done and spent money on. But in the end, it hasn't done anything for me. In the end, I've just shelled out more money. And I haven't really gained much of anything, because those things were not purpose plus money plus passion. Those things were just either all money or either trying to forge a relationship, and it still wasn't really what I wanted in my heart. And I still hadn't really strategically thought out how to make it work for me. And so that's all I pretty much have to say. My hope and my prayer is that this video has helped somebody to be encouraged by it, and to let you know that if you have gone through a lot of the things, because y'all can see I've gone through a lot of things, it's like this, that, and the third. If you have gone through every year trying to do something new, change, do something else, maybe it's time for you to really sit down and figure out what's really important to you, and figure out that if you always jump on just money, then you're not going to be successful. If you just become passionate and you don't think about how to make money, you probably won't be successful. Your question has to be, how do you fuse the two together? How do you find the balance of making money and having passion and purpose fused together? So that's my story. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Maybe I will do a video on all of the MLMs I've been in since I've been about probably 22, 23, and I would say it's probably at least 5 or 6. And so maybe I'll do a video on that, and I'll just talk about my experience, because sometimes you don't really know how much experience you have in something until you start to remember and talk about it. And it's like, I did that too. I was in that too. That didn't work either. So yeah, family, if you like this video, go ahead, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you have not already, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also hit the bell for notifications so that you never miss an uploaded video. Okay, I love you all. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.